Yeah, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Buttu. My my live reaction video got interrupted by my boyfriend. It literally stopped my video. Like usually I have a pause button here, so like if like for instance for this live thing, if it gets interrupted, like not interrupted, if I need to pause it real quick, there's a pause button and I had it paused every time the show was on and then I'd unpause it during a commercial. Sadly enough, my boyfriend likes to interrupt. But anyway, well. Apparently, these people did in fact have Gabriel. So a lot of people were wondering when they saw Gabriel driving away at night in the car, leaving Alexandria. A lot of people assumed that Gabriel left with somebody, but it turns out that I was highly suspicious because I rewatched that moment when he was driving away from Alexandria at night, and that person that they thought that Gabriel went away with, that person literally like sneakily went up sneakily like he like crept up like he I have a feeling that whoever was watching Alexandria and watching that houseboat was from that community that Rick and the group got surrounded by, and that person we saw, the mismatched boots, I think, went toward Alexandria and stayed hidden in a car, which happened to be the same car that Gabriel drove off in, and while he was driving away, whoever that was watching Alexandria pretty much snuck into the car, basically, and took Gabriel hostage, because we just saw Gabriel apparently hostage in this community, and they're literally hiding in what looks like a landfill. You know where all your trash and plastic and shit goes? It looks like a landfill, and they pretty much use it like borders, you know what I mean? Like, the landfill is literally their walls. And what I just witnessed was basically what you call it? Hang on for a sec, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I thought I was recording earlier, but turns out I wasn't. I left off at apparently Father Gabriel got some real big balls, cuz he took a knife and pretty much had one of that new group hostage, and it's like told about the savior saying, you join our fight, you can have whatever you want, whatever you desire. Rick and his group can do anything. And what I thought was really interesting was that apparently this leader, the lady, took Rick as well as two of her own and went up the pile of trash, right? Apparently to see this thing, I didn't hear the name of it, but he's all overlooking all the trash right next to the leader and two of her own, and all of a sudden she pushes him down the trash, and like Michonne and them could only see through these little pipes through the garbage, and in the trailers for the second half of season 7, you saw this really I forgot the name of the movie, but this one walker that's like decked out in spikes and has like a metal helmet and everything, and God, it's like a reference to a very famous movie. I can't remember at the top of my head right now, but we all saw that in the trailer, and now we finally actually get to see this spiky, metal-headed, gnarly-looking walker for the first time. Apparently, it's like a freaking pet to these people, but apparently they send Rick down there to prove himself, to see if like they're good enough to, as Gabriel says, right? And Rick, like I just saw Rick like take on this thing, but what was so gross was because like the walker's wearing like a metal helmet all across its face except for the bottom half, so he still has his chompers, but like metal head thing filled with spikes, and then his whole body's filled with spikes, right? So it's like, what the hell's Rick gonna do? He's literally trapped around trash with Sir Spike-a-Lot over there. He has to worry about the spikes all over him and chompers. But like, ooh, Rick, when he tried to push the walker away, his hand literally went through a spike on the helmet. And it's like, you can see the spike right through his hand. It's like, ugh! And then he tried to kick the walker, and his foot ended up getting a spike there. And it's like, well, ew, poor Rick. But what was pretty cool was Michonne gave him advice, like, use the trash to make him fall, and then he ended up getting like a rag and some broken glass and like stabbing the hell out of the walker. And they ended up having this deal where she's like, okay, you're worthy enough, and I'll tell you what we want. I want guns. We want guns. A lot of them, and we'll fight your fight, right? And so they came to a deal, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was very interesting. These guys, her group, are literally like nomads, man, because they don't talk. She's like the only one that talked, the leader. I forgot her name already. They even mentioned her name like a few minutes ago before commercial, but he did get her name. And I'm literally gonna call them the nomad group because they literally act like nomads. They don't talk. It's kind of creepy. Like the leader was literally the only one I heard speak. But props to Rick for fighting the hedgehog of all freaking walkers, man. Spikes everywhere, man. That was pretty badass. And all he had was garbage, his little garbage wall surrounding him, and like a little shard of glass. So props, real props. That was pretty damn impressive. But hopefully they will able to get these guns for this little nomad group, because they even said so themselves, like, you get us all a lot of guns, we'll help you fight the fight. But she also mentioned, like, you know, this little deal of ours, it expires, so you better hurry up. So hopefully this goes through. But anyway, they're back. I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at what I just witnessed with Rick. So we got another King Ezekiel pretty much flirting with Carol, because he showed up with his little group of soldiers. You know, making an excuse saying they're just clearing the walkers to help with her solitude, and then his little right-hand dude gave a peach cobbler. He's like, she accepted and just told him to leave. And she's all like reading her book, and then she gets another knock, right? I had an awesome feeling that it was Daryl, right? But obviously Carol thought that was King Ezekiel again, right? So she opened the door and boom, reunion of Carol and Daryl, right? And I was like, oh, how cute. Cute reunion, because you could see like they're both very teary-eyed to see each other. Daryl's all asking why she left, and she's like, I had to, and all that stuff. Not much speaking between each other, but, you know, the emotions there, and you could tell how close they are. I like the fact they actually had a reunion. And most likely Daryl did mention, though, in that small brief interaction that Jesus brought Rick's group to the kingdom, and Morgan told them about the fact that she left, right? And, like, not much wording between them, but, like, it was good to see them reunite. It was very sweet and touching. Because, like, you could tell she's teary-eyed when she hugged him and everything. And also, like, most likely now that Daryl's there, Daryl will probably inform Carol what happened to Abraham and what happened to Glenn. So, there's a very, very good chance that Carol will finally find out what Negan did to Abraham and especially to Glenn. Because remember, Carol has known Glenn since pretty much the beginning. They were part of the original Atlanta group. Daryl, Carol, Glenn, they're all part of the original Atlanta group. Even before Rick even got to the Atlanta group, before he got to his coma. Glenn, Carol, and Glenn, Carol, and Daryl were all part of a group already. Rick just joined in. So, yeah, it's gonna be very tough for Carol, hearing about Glenn, at least, because, like I said, they're part of the original group. But anyway, Rick and them got their supplies back, and, I thought it was, the little spat between Rosita and Tara. I mean, Rosita's gotta chill, yo, because Tara's trying to be reasonable. Rosita right now is just, she's on rampage. She might, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think something might happen to Rosita because she's on rampage like this. Like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if you read the comic/graphic novel, you know what happens to Rosita, like, well, during the course of the graphic novel and comic. You know, like, everything that happens to her. And I'm not gonna be a spoiler alert or anything like that. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just saying, like, you guys know pretty much what happens during the course of the whole Negan thing. And so, I'm kind of worried that with Rosita being on rampage, it actually might come true, right? And you notice that when Rick was talking to Tara about, you know, she's been out more than anyone, where not to look for guns, she hesitated because, remember, she saw that community, like all-female community, and they had guns. So, she knows where they can get a shitload of guns, but remember, she promised one of those females from that community that she would not tell anybody about the community, so she's obviously upholding that promise. But what I thought was really funny, the thing I was laughing at, was like toward the end before commercial, Rick says wait, and he takes one of those, like, they're like little animals made out of metal. I'm guessing this little nomad group made them, but like there's little animals that are made obviously from trash and metal and stuff, and he takes one that's like a shape of a cat. He steals it, gives it to Michelle, and he's like, we won. And plus this is to help replace the cat that you lost, Michelle. And I was laughing so hard. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, sweet reunion between Daryl and Carol right now, and the cat thing was hilarious. And also, Rosita's just seriously gotta chill. Seriously needs to take a chill pill. No, Rosita, stop. You're gonna get yourself killed, woman. Anyway, commercial's almost done, so I'll be right back, okay? Yeah. So that was an interesting thing. After Daryl reunited with Carol, they had like dinner together at her little cottage. What I thought was very interesting was the fact that Carol mentions to Daryl that the reason why she left is because she didn't want to lose anyone anymore. And also the fact that she was afraid that if something happened to their people, that she would come back and kill again, which she didn't want to do. She didn't want to lose people, but at the same time she didn't want to kill people. And she knew if someone in her group got hurt, that she'd end up coming back and killing someone, which is the second thing she didn't want to do. And so what I thought was so sad was seeing Carol's face. She turned around to Daryl and was like, did the saviors come? Did anyone get hurt? And all that stuff. And that's the part where I thought Daryl was actually going to confess, because he said yes to the first question. She's like, did the saviors come? He's like, yes. And she's like, did anyone get hurt? Is everyone all right back home? I really thought Daryl was going to say something, but Daryl ended up saying nothing. Hang on for a second. Sorry about that. I thought I heard something. But anyway, he ended up saying nothing to her. He actually lied to her. He's like, the saviors came. He said yes to that, but he's like, we're fine. No one's hurt. We're all okay. So he basically lied to Carol, like, never said anything about Abraham or Glenn, for Christ's sake. Oh my god. And I understand why he did it, because Carol even mentioned that she didn't want to lose anyone, but two, she did not want to kill anymore. And if she found out if someone got hurt in their group, she probably would come back and kill somebody. And so Daryl most likely lied to her, so he pretty much to spare her from coming back and killing someone and having that guilt on herself. So I understand why he did it, but it's like, oh my god, you lied to her. And they had a cute moment when he left. He's like, take care of yourself and all that, because he went back to the kingdom. And he also had this cool moment where he was actually in front of a cage which had Shiva in it, the tiger. And like, Shiva likes Daryl, and Morgan's like, oh, you're good with her. King Ezekiel will be very impressed. And like, Daryl's still trying to tell Morgan, you gotta be the one to tell Ezekiel. We've gotta fight, and whatever you're holding on to, you gotta let it go. It's gone. But Morgan's like, we're all holding on to something, because obviously you didn't tell Carol about what really happened to a group. If you did, she'd be here, right? So basically Morgan's trying to like counteract with him, saying, we're all holding on to something, because look at you didn't tell Carol the truth, right? So Daryl ends up leaving the kingdom in the morning, going back to Hilltop to get ready to fight. So I'm really looking forward to this. This was very interesting. I like there's more Daryl. I like the reunion between Daryl and Carol, and this new nomad group kind of creeping me out. But hopefully, like they'll get more guns so they can solidify this deal. And I think that group that Tara ran into that one time when she was with God, I forgot his name already, but he's missing. That one group of females, I have a feeling they might come into play soon, especially with this whole gun deal. But anyway, that's my live reaction. I'm sorry that it got broken into like 2 videos because of my boyfriend, but I'll see you guys in the next one for the next episode, okay? Bye, Pluto.